Okay, so this is a tutorial using Gimp to look at how to make a exploding planet. So the first thing you'll need is a picture of dirt. So here I have a lovely picture of dirt, which I downloaded from Google. Once you have downloaded it, just open it into Gimp. Okay, so here I am in Gimp. First thing I need to do is invert the color of the image. So I'm going to go up here into Colors and then Invert. So now it looks like that. The next thing I need to do is use my ellipse tool to create a circle like that. Actually, I want it to be kind of in the center. So I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, so you do want that to be in the center. So if you could try to make sure that it is center and roughly round. Okay, so I have inverted the color. I've got my ellipse tool. So the next thing I need to do is invert the selection. So of course now I'm selecting the circle. What I need to do is go into Select and I need to invert. So what this means is now I am selecting everything but the circle. So I'm going to click Delete. So now this in Gimp, it looks like there is nothing there. However, what is actually the truth is there is nothing. So we actually, in this one, we do need to put something there. So we are going to, making sure that this color here is black. I'm just going to right click, go to Edit, and then Fill with Background Color. So now I have, it is all black over here, which is what we want. Okay. So the next thing that I need to do is bulge the image. According to the paint.net tutorial, a problem is we don't actually have that in this. So we are going into Distort, and we are using Spherize. And it seems to be vaguely the same. We are going to turn it down because our nice round planet just put some weight on. So we're going to make it a little bit smaller here. Put it kind of roughly back into the circle that it was, and maybe tone the amount down a little bit. Because we've got a bit too much. But it is still sphered. Click OK. And so that is our new. Okay, so we're going to deselect everything. So go into Select, we go None. Okay, what I need to do next is duplicate this image, or this layer. So I'm going to right click over here and duplicate layer. So now I have a second. And on that one, we're going to adjust our blending. So right here, you can see our mode here is normal. We want to go to color burn. We don't have one that says color burn, so we are using just straight burn. It seems to look right. So then once we have done that, we are going to duplicate that image or layer. So duplicate that layer. So now I have two of the same. And on that one, we are going to adjust our blending to addition. Okay, and then I'm going to merge my layers down in order to get them into a single layer. So I right click on my top layer, merge down, right click on that layer, and merge down again. Okay, so this is kind of helping with some coloring. Now we're going to use, in the paint.net tutorial, it says now we're going to get some glow. This is also an issue thing we don't have. So we're going to go into Filters, we're going to go into Light and Shadow, and actually I think it is in this one. I'm just going to pop. The paint.net tutorial calls for something called glow. So we are going to go into Filters, into Artistic. There's something called Soft Glow. So what we're going to do is increase the radius a bit, maybe increase the brightness a little bit. Just kind of guessing here, kind of making it look like it's supposed to, I guess. Click OK. And now we're going to duplicate this image. So right click on our layer, duplicate our layer. So now I have two of the same. And once we've done that, on the new layer, we're going to do a zoom blur. So filters, blur, and we're going to zoom motion blur. So you can adjust this as much as you like. It has to do with this blurring factor, so we're going to go a little bit bigger. If your planet is not in the center like mine is, you would use these X and Y coordinates to change the center of the zoom blur, but mine is centered, so it works. I'm going to click OK. That is my zoom blur. And then on the image we just blurred, we need to change our blend from normal. We're going to go to lighten. So we're going to go to lighten only. You can see it's starting to look a little bit right. And on that layer, we're going to change the saturation to 0. So we're going to go into colors, hue and saturation, and then we just take our saturation and slide it all the way to 0. We can play with these a bit if we want. It's going to adjust some things like in color. This is our lightness or darkness. Just kind of play with it a little bit that you want. Okay. And then we merge that down. So right click, merge down. And we are pretty much done. This is our exploding planet. Now what I could do if I wanted is I can go into colors, color balance, and I can play with these a little bit. So I'm going to go into the shadows, which are more to the darker colors. I'm going to kind of change my coloring there a little bit. Kind of looks like a bit of a purple explosion now. That's probably a bit. Now it's red. And go into midtones. And maybe I'll do that again. Kind of getting kind of purpley. And finally, I'm going to adjust my highlights a little bit. Put this one way down. Just kind of changes the nature of your coloring. And click OK. And there is my exploding planet. What I would do now, of course, is save it. If I wanted to work on it again later, I would simply save it as an XCF file, which is a editable GIMP file, but I don't need to do that. I'm just going to save it. So I'm going to export. So I'm going to export as a exploding planet. And you notice now it is a JPEG. I'm going into my folder, and I'm just going to click export. It's just talking about the quality of it. Click export, and there's my exploding planet. So now if I go to my folder over here, here is my exploding planet picture. And that's how you make an exploding planet using GIMP. I'll talk to you guys later.